I was driving home on a Tuesday afternoon when everything changed. Traffic flowed smoothly, and my old Ford was running well despite its 15 years. I felt good that day. I'd just closed a difficult case, and $5,000 sat in my handbag. Not bad for a woman working alone as a private detective. As I drove in the middle lane, I noticed a young woman in a small black car behind me. A bright green Porsche tailgated her aggressively. She seemed ready to move into my lane, so I slowed down to give her space. A white Toyota appeared on my right. Then I heard it. A sharp crack, like a gunshot, echoed through the air. Everything happened in seconds. The black car swerved wildly, smashing into the Porsche, then the center barrier, then spinning back onto the road. I slammed my brakes. A red Mercedes appeared from nowhere and struck the girl's car, sending it careening off the highway. Behind me, cars collided in a terrible chain reaction. The girl's car had crashed into a road sign. I parked quickly and ran toward the wreckage. A young man from the white Toyota reached the car at the same time. The girl's head had gone through the windshield. Blood covered her face. She wasn't moving. The man forced the door open. I stopped him from moving her and used my coat to slow the bleeding. He was about 25, with dark hair and dark eyes. Someone behind us called for help. Other people were injured too. The driver of the red Mercedes was already calling for an ambulance. I returned to the young man helping the girl. He pressed gently against her neck. She seemed alive, he said quietly. I helped others until the ambulance arrived. When police questioned witnesses, I gave my statement. The young man from the Toyota did the same. The next morning, the newspaper reported that the girl had died. Her name was Sonia Charles, 21 years old, a student from Venice, Italy. The photograph showed a beautiful young woman with blonde hair and a bright smile. The news hit me like a physical blow. Days later, a woman knocked on my door. For a moment, I thought Sonia stood before me, but this woman was older, perhaps in her 40s. She introduced herself as Christina Charles, Sonia's mother. Police had found a bullet hole in Sonia's car. Her daughter had been shot. Mrs. Charles believed it wasn't random violence. She needed someone to investigate while she returned to Venice to care for her sick husband. Though reluctant to interfere with police work, I agreed to help. At the police station, I learned something troubling. The young man from the white Toyota had given false information. His name and address were invented. Why would a helpful witness lie? I got the list of other witnesses and began tracking leads. Sonia had worked at a restaurant near campus. The manager told me a man named Nathan had been bothering her. They'd dated briefly, but he became obsessively jealous, following her constantly in a blue Honda. Sonia had switched shifts, trying to avoid him. On the day she died, she'd left work suddenly. The manager believed Nathan had found her there. I visited Sonia's roommate, Natalie Chambers. She was packing to move back to her parents' house while they traveled in India. When I asked about Nathan, she claimed ignorance. She insisted she and Sonia weren't close. Something felt wrong about her answers, but I couldn't prove anything. For 2 days, I interviewed Sonia's teachers and friends. Everyone described her as kind and well-liked, but no one offered useful information. Then I remembered something. A newspaper photographer had been at the accident scene. Maybe his photos captured the mysterious Toyota driver. At the newspaper office, we found a photo showing the Toyota's license plate clearly. I traced it through motor vehicle records to a man named Barry Turner. My excitement faded when I met him. He was nothing like the man I'd seen. Worse, his Toyota sat in his garage, stripped of its engine and wheels. Someone had stolen his license plates months ago and replaced them with plates from another stolen car. The pattern became clear. Someone had stolen a white Toyota, used fake plates, and disappeared after the accident. That someone was likely the shooter. I had to find him. I returned to question Natalie again, but her apartment was empty. I drove to her parents' house in Colgate. No one answered the door. As I walked back to my car, something drew my attention to the garage. Through the window, I saw a white Toyota with all its paint removed and no license plates. My heart pounded. I found the side door unlocked and searched the car. Under the front seat lay a handgun. I ran to find a phone to call police. As I reached my car, a dark blue Ford pulled into the driveway. The driver was the man from the accident, Natalie's brother. Recognition and terror flashed across his face simultaneously. He accelerated past me. I chased him onto the freeway heading south. He watched me in his mirror, perhaps too focused on me to notice what lay ahead. Workers in orange vests were installing a new road sign, replacing the one Sonia's car had destroyed. Heavy equipment blocked the lane. Nathan Chambers never saw it. The crash was devastating. I stopped and stood there shaking as emergency vehicles arrived again. It was the same terrible scene repeated. Nathan died instantly, at the exact spot where he'd killed Sonia. Later, I learned the truth. Jealousy had consumed him completely. Unable to accept that Sonia had ended their relationship, he'd planned everything carefully. He'd stolen the car and plates, followed her that day, and shot her as she drove. His elaborate planning proved he was calculating, not crazy. But in the end, his obsession destroyed them both. Standing at that accident scene again, I understood that some people carry their own destruction inside them, and sometimes justice arrives in unexpected ways. Sonia's death was finally answered, not in a courtroom, but on the same stretch of highway where her life had ended, as if the universe itself demanded balance.